Blending summer into fall, this is early September homemaking for me and my family. We are still having the warm days, but the crisp mornings. We're doing lots of apples today, doing some outdoor work. The bumblebees and the honeybees are prevalent, and the home is getting a little change from summer into fall. We had the opportunity as a family to go to a family's orchard. It was an older gentleman who had 14 different varieties of apples. It was a hot day on this particular day, and we still got out and picked 3 bushels of apples. And so I am excited to share all these different apple recipes and things I did with the apples, and it was just such a fun time. The kids had to taste every different kind of apple. I think my oldest ate 5 apples total that day, and so it was just a really fun experience. And so the first meal I'm using it for is to put it on a chicken. So I'm just putting these fresh vegetables, rubbing in some delicious butter that I get from Azure Standard. Azure Standard is a place that I love shopping from. Once a month, I will go and pick up my order from a truck stop where the coordinator has divided out all our boxes. We are ready to pick up, and I can come home and be satisfied with what I have ordered online from Azure Standard. I love their options that they have. You can get organic, you can get gluten-free, you can get keto-friendly, dairy-free, you can buy bulk supply, you can buy one of each item. And so this company works well for any person in any lifestyle. I really appreciate their quality, their service that they offer for each of us. And so if you're interested, please go to my description box and use my affiliate link, DaveeKilian1, to order under me, because that is something that I love and I want to share with you guys. The butter I used on my chicken, the bulk cheeses I get, the flour that you see me baking with, sometimes some bulk produce. There are so many different foods, but not only foods, medicines, supplies for homesteaders, for their feed, animal feed. It is just a place that I recommend shopping. I love each new food and flower and day and everything that each new season brings. And right now it is very heavy in the apples. So once we picked all those apples, the entire week we had to work on them, from dehydrating to canning applesauce and apple butter to making some apple pie filling to making some apple crisps. And I am working on some of that right now. We're dehydrating some apples, and the kids love these as a snack. Well, we all do, I should say. I think they're best with some cinnamon sprinkled on them. We did peel a few as well to make it easier for our little 1-year-old to eat. And then the next day, the kiddos helped me take them off because I let it run through the night, because it does heat up our small house by about 2 degrees or so. And then I love this time of year too, when the garden doesn't need as much attention. I can sit down to write some letters. I think it's so important to still write, not just text. Calling is wonderful too, but making the intentional thought to write. And I struggle with that sometimes. And so I have these beautiful cards that I got just from Amazon, but I've also bought some beautiful quilted pattern cards from my friend at Grace Peace & Co. And so she's got some beautiful cards that I have used and used them all up. So I definitely use these. I love the beautiful flower pattern on the front, you'll see, and just being intentional, like I said, and writing a quick note, whether it be a thank you, whether it be just thinking about you, whether it be birthday, like just making the time 10 minutes, 20 minutes to write a couple cards and get them addressed and stamps on them and in the mailbox. And as you see, I'm outside, so the kids are playing around me. I'm writing a couple letters and just making the intentional thought. That is my word for 2024, is intentional. So I think note writing is one of those things that I will continue as long as I am able to write, because I love getting a handwritten note from some of you, from family, from friends. So different things are blooming, lots of things are dying, but I still try to keep my flowers watered and alive. I'm not quite ready for my mums and pumpkins yet. Well, when I'm filming this, it's end of August anyways, but the corn is fading. The sunflowers are vibrant and blooming. My zinnias are still going strong and really tall. And this is my favorite scene of just the flowers there, the corn fading away. And I just love being able to pick them and add them to my home and bring new life into the space and add that color while I still can. A new day, a rainy day is upon us, and now it feels a little bit more like fall. My mums are blooming just ever so slightly, just bringing about that itch for our sweaters and beautiful cozy drinks and all the things fall, and more apples, of course. I know I've shared my favorite season is summer, and it truly is. I love being able to go outside barefoot, put on the summer dresses, but each new season, like I said, brings about something special. And so today I am making an apple crisp. I'm using einkorn flour because I just like the buttery richness of that flour that you can get. And again, you can find that from Azure Standard, or I have bought it off of Amazon as well. I have a rustic apple crisp recipe over on my blog, DaveeKilian.com. It uses some quick oats, not old-fashioned, and it's a little bit different with the einkorn, but it's just so rich, beautiful flavor. And so you can check that recipe out if you are interested. This is a go-to in the fall. My family just loves crisp, and it's different than a cobbler, as you can see, because it's got the oat crumbly top instead of a biscuit type top. And isn't it just beautiful after it's been baked? One of my favorites. And after the rain, the sun peeks out to set. And then in the evening, it's time to make up some more apple chips and making some that are without the skins. And also some more apple butter and apple sauces so that they can be canned to be preserved on the shelf, and also so I can gift them during the Christmas season. I love gifting homemade gifts. I made a video about that in November last year, 2023. And apple butter and apple sauces were one of my favorites to make. People love homemade spreads. Not a lot of people make those things anymore. So if you can make a simple apple butter in the crock pot, which I am doing, I highly recommend it. I kind of just dumped in the amount of sugar. You can do honey. I've done honey before. Then I did cane sugar, and then I put some cinnamon in there and some ground cloves, and my husband sneaking some of the apples with some sugar. And then I also put some nutmeg before. I don't think I did this time, and let it cook overnight, like 10-12 hours. It pretty much reduces down to half, and then I immersion blend it after that in the morning, and it makes the house smell just delicious, by the way. And then after that, I get my jars ready, get everything put into the jars, and can it in a hot water bath. Simplest recipe ever. course, it has to be labeled because sometimes we, as preservers and homemakers, have jars and canned items from years before. So I want to make sure I use the previous years before this year's. So just writing my apple butter 2024. And it's a sunny day. The bees are on all the plants. They are so prevalent right now, and it's fun just to watch them collect the pollen and move on to their next blossom and their next flower. With end of August, the fall season brings about some homeschooling. So we are schooling at home. I have a kindergartner and a pre-K and then my 1-year-old. So I'm sure I'll get the question, but I am using the Good and the Beautiful curriculum this year. We're giving that a try. I have enjoyed it so far with the pace of it just lets you take it one step at a time. And I love that about homeschooling. It's child's pace, and I love that, and it has been so fun. We also are using some other extra activities we have that we purchased thrifted or were gifted. These little grooved books help them with numbers and alphabets and math, and it's so fun for her to write in them with a magic pen because then it disappears after a little bit, and so it's just a good practice for her. My home needed a little decor refresh, so I am pulling out my tote of fall decor. I have one tote for this, unlike my Christmas, which is like 6. So it makes it a little simpler to decorate, and I'm seeing things as I pull it out that I am no longer going to use. I do use this tote for our guest cottage, some decor like this ceramic pumpkin. That'll go over there. Some of those pillow covers will go over there, and I decorate more neutrally for fall in my own home. So some of the color comes in at our guest cottage, which I enjoy having 2 spaces to decorate for. But it's fun to open up the tote after a year of having it been tucked away because, you tuck things away end of October so you can decorate for Christmas in November if you're like me. So fall decor doesn't last very long in my home, up 2 months about, and so I definitely knew I wanted to get it up about September time when the girls found one of the fall books that they're gonna go look at. So I love using neutrals, like I said, wheat stems. This year I kind of have a burnt orange tone going on with some neutral vibe, and I really am enjoying that. Real pumpkins are not prevalent yet. I mean, people have them and they're producing, but I have not gone and purchased any. I do not grow squashes, unfortunately, because I have battled squash bugs way too much. I did it for years, and they just got to my produce too quickly, and so unfortunately most of it got squishy from the inside before I could even use it. So that's one battle I'm not going to fight. I just go purchase. And I love using natural elements and thrifted decor. If you follow me for a while, you know that's how I work. Changing out just a few pieces, it took me 35 minutes just to swap out a few of these baby breaths to some other florals that I had on hand, some of my thrifted decor to switch out, just some grasses and wheat stems that I already had, and I just love that, the simplicity of it. Fall does not need to be, for me, a lot of just throwing a bunch of things up and around, because Christmas time I had a lot more. Fall, still pretty simple and neutral, but I just want to add that coziness, and I love how it kind of changes the tone of my home to feel more warm and inviting with those warmer hues. So question for you guys, are you ones who decorate with real pumpkins in your home, or do you use fake, or do you use all the reds and greens and golds and yellows and or oranges in your home, or do you like a more neutral palette? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you decorate in your home. Like I said, I'm pretty neutral. I have a few pops of color, but it's my burnt orange right now and all the thrifted. Like, If I tried to link things for you, I can't very well because most of it's thrifted. Other than the wheat stems, I think I did get those on Amazon or from Hobby Lobby. I am not sure. And adding a few more pillows. I kept it simple for the summer with just one pillow on each side of the couch. But these pillows with the tassels I found last year for $1 each at a thrift store, and same with that pumpkin pillow, $1 at a thrift store. So I had to put these on the couch. Fall time brings about more leaves falling, and so getting those swept up, because our crabapple has been losing its leaves a little bit faster than every other tree. I think I mentioned in a month or two ago that I think there's some blight or something going on with it, but I try to keep the leaves picked up, and the girls, before I got the camera out, were having fun jumping in it. Their first pile of leaves to jump and play in. Last week's video was all about fall cleaning. I didn't quite get everything done on my list, and that's okay. So I'm taking some time to clean out this door sill, like windowsill, but it gets so grimy and gross with sticks. And I found a couple of dried green beans I must have dropped. It's just kind of silly. And then some leaves and dirt. So I like wiping it out. And yes, I am using a paper towel at first because if you can see, they got black. And then I'll use a rag to follow afterwards because I didn't want to stain my rag too bad, and the paper towel gets in the grooves a little bit better. So just getting that cleaned out because it's a new season, gotta freshen up the home as well. I'm enjoying my beautiful arrangement of zinnias and sunflowers on my table from a couple days ago that we picked. And while I enjoy those blooms, I am making a ribbon pumpkin bread. This recipe I'll put in the description box for you. It is from a lady who was a cook at the camp we used to live at and work at. If you knew that, we lived at a Christian camp for 2 years while my husband was the program director there. Little snippet of background for me. So I'm trying out this recipe. It tastes delicious. I reduced the sugar a little bit because it seemed to have more than I usually like. It still tasted sweet enough in my opinion, but really good, delicious with that cream cheese ribbon white middle on the inside. And I just love the taste of pumpkin and lots of things. And it just was something fun to bake and kind of start off the pumpkin season per se, and doing other than apples. Yes, it did use some applesauce though too. So I really have been using apples in almost every recipe that I have made this past week, because when you got 3 bushel, you just kind of use what you got and enjoy the fresh produce while you can. I hope you can enjoy all the apples and all the pumpkins and just the change that this new season brings. I will talk with you in the next video.